about creatures. So, over the course of years, I have gotten the chance to work on so many films. A lot of really fun things, all the way from characters to creatures, animating on cats and dragons and deer. And over all of those years, the thing that has really been the standout thing that I've learned has been the importance of adding in those small little details, the dirt into your shot. The thing that really keeps your character alive and makes your shot stand out from the crowd and not come across as an animated character, but as a living, breathing thing that all of a sudden the audience goes, wow, how did they film that? So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, is how to get that little extra bit of kick that will make your audience go, wow. I have former students' work, and let me show you the before and after on that, but how to take something that you think might be final right now, how to go in, really polish that up, take it to a professional level, and yeah, let's take a look. So this is the student's original final file that I was sent. That was pretty good. There are some things in here that I would definitely go in and address. And then this is my final file for the scene. I've thrown in a camera move, gone in, polished up some stuff, added in a little bit of dirt, and overall this is the difference between the two files. Here is the original student file as I received it. The overall shot is pretty good, but there are some things in here that are needing a little bit of love. And so the very first thing that I do when I get into the scene file is I make sure that I've got my world turned on. So she's got it templated, untemplated. I like using referencing because referencing locks it out. You can't select it. But when I turn on that geometry, I start seeing that there are some issues with penetrating through the world. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a hit list of everything that needs to be done in the scene file. So on this hit list, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to type in that I need to look at penetrations. Very important. With penetrations, there are certain things that you guys need to think about when you're thinking about penetrations. You need to think about the fact that with penetrations, you could be causing issues for other departments. As a studio artist, I am always thinking about my 3 clients. And I have 3 clients. The original client is, of course, the client who is paying the bill. Very important that they are happy. They're paying for this. The second client is my supervisor, either my animation lead, my animation director, whoever I'm answering to inside of the studio. And my third client is whoever follows me in the production pipeline. So that person could be doing cloth, hair, shadows, lighting. Anybody who is following me in the production pipeline, they fall into my client list. And pretty much I need to make them happy too, because I know I don't want to see my shot come back and haunt me again. So penetrations are a major thing that I need to think about when I'm dealing with my shots. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to look at the shot. Also, another really major thing is, am I still nailing who my character is? You know, in this shot, the original point of this shot, this is a mother dragon who is taking her baby dragon out for her first flight lesson. This is not the first baby for this mama dragon. So she's been there before. She knows that, you know, here's a cliff, the baby's going to be going off of it, has to go off of it to learn how to fly. So that's her goal. Her goal is to get the baby off the cliff. The baby is, of course, naturally petrified, skeptical about learning how to fly, and really does not want to go off this cliff. So she's going to be backing up. Ultimately, the baby's going to get pushed off the cliff, fall down, The mom, being super concerned that she has now just killed off her offspring, rushes to the edge to check. The baby flies up, and they are both relieved. So, keeping that in mind, I'm gonna go forward and set up my hit list. So, first thing on the hit list, I have penetrations. I know it. I'm going to go in there and fix them. The second thing on my hit list, am I hitting my character? So, hitting the character. I like keeping a running tab. So, is the characterization in there? Even though it's creatures, it still has a character. Did I overstretch the character? So, what's my stretch situation? The stretch situation, if you have anything with cloth and hair, if you overstretch your character, you are going to be causing problems for them, and they are going to come after you with pitchforks. So, I warn you now. So, what is my stretch? One other thing with penetrations. Penetrations through the world a lot of times don't cause problems. The thing with penetrations that you need to watch out for, if the camera sees it, it has to be fixed. Period. There's no way around it. Camera sees it, you have to fix it. If the penetration is causing a simulation issue, cloth, hair, any form of simulation, you have to fix it. If the penetration is going to be seen in shadows, you have to fix it. Pretty much anything that the camera would see, either through simulation or through actual shadows, lights, reflections, those are things that you have to fix. So those are the penetrations that go into my concern list. Things I'm not really worried about, the tail going through the back of the mountain. If I don't see it, I'm not going to worry about it. The membranes, there's a section in here where the baby is turning on this side over here. The membranes go through the body a little bit. They're going through the ground here a little bit too. If they're going through here and I'm not seeing it, I'm animating the membranes, so I'm not really going to worry about simulation here. So that penetration's totally fine. But if I see it, then it's going to go onto a very specific hit list. Other things that are going on to go onto my hit list. If there are any technical issues with the shot, that's a major thing. Technical issues have to get fixed. If they don't get fixed, yeah, your animation director, they're going to final the shot, but you know what? It's going to come back and haunt me. So I'm going to end up having to fix it before it goes on to the next person. Is my overlap correct? On tails especially, this is very important. If the overlap is not working on the tail, the character's not going to work. Now, I've worked at studios where the tail wasn't a concern, that the Game of Thrones dragon. What we did with that was we did a simulation on the tail. So we animated a little bit, but the tail, ultimately, the overlap was given to us because the rig had that capability. Not all rigs have the capabilities that we might hope and desire in them. But ultimately, when you are working on the shot, get to know your character rig first, because that'll tell you if, especially on the overlap of the tail, that'll tell you if you can actually get away with not doing a lot, but get a lot through simulation. And ultimately, is the character's physics correct? So if I have collapsing geometry, that's a sign that the physics are probably not correct for that character. If I look at my character from a top view, I'll see if the spine is working or not working. If the spine's doing something funky like this one is here at 84, then I know that there's a weird curve to that spine. I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at trying to fix that. Chances are it's a balance issue. So if I look under here, yep, there it is. I've pushed too far. So I'm going to look at my character from all different angles. From the top view up here, I'm going to look at it from the bottom. Look at that. I can see how much my character is penetrating through. So this penetration's too big on one foot and too small on the other. but I'm going to look at it from every angle. I'm going to look for neck kinks. Necks are on these dragons, they're so long, they almost have to be treated just like you would treat the tail. But I'm going to look at this from every possible angle, for every possible thing to add to my hit list. There are other things that I want to add into my hit list. Are there places I can push the timing? I don't personally lock my timing until my shot is actually finalized. Some animators that I know, they do. Everybody works differently. But I have this personal feeling that as long as I'm working on the shot, the timing, unless it's necessary for a background plate, the timing's pretty much fair game. So if there's a place that I need to add in a hold, or I need to just speed through an area, I've got too much of a hold, I'm going to change that. So I'm not really concerned about sticking 100% to my original timing. For me, that's a very flowing thing. It's free flowing for me. And then ultimately, once I'm happy with timing, holds, all of that stuff, where can I add dirt? With these characters, one of the most important things is these membranes. With the membranes, when a character is flying through space, those membranes are so thin that what they're going to do is they're just going to jitter. So as your character is flying through space, you're going to want to add a little bit of that. If the wings are holding onto the tree or on the ground, you don't want to have those locked. You need to have a little tiny bit of an extra motion in there to keep them alive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to ask myself, what can I add to the dirt? So membranes, tails, fingers, eye blinks, anything that is going to help me with keeping my character alive and keeping that character believable. Those are things that I'm going to try and add in if I have the time. Now, ultimately, I have a hit list of things that I want to do for every shot, but I don't have all the time in the world. I still have deadlines. So when I have that hit list, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to ask myself, what is the most important thing? And I'm going to start on that, and I'm going to work my way through. Timing is more important than going in and making sure that a penetration that you don't see is fixed. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to prioritize my hit list. I'm going to start it at the big brush things, the things that are going to make the most major change to more things. I'm going to start there, and I'm going to work my way through to the smaller details. And once I've got that, I know how much time I've got, then I know where to focus.